Hello, hello, hello. What is up, TFA? We are closing in. The season is almost upon us. We're gonna try and bang out a couple more of these TFA throwdowns for you all. Kevin and I are gonna get into it tonight. Two receivers who are coming off highly off the boards. We have DJ Moore of the Carolina Panthers, and I'm gonna be throwing down with Amari Cooper of the Dallas Cowboys. Before we jump into it, whether you're watching, whether you're listening, whatever, however you're consuming this content, this greatness that is coming at you, either through your eyes, through the ears, whatever senses that you're consuming this with, make sure you like, rate, subscribe, all that stuff for us. We really appreciate it. You guys have been awesome over the past couple of weeks, and you're making us feel good. I know it cheers Kevin up. He has that rosy hue on his face. Big old smiles every time we log into YouTube and Twitter and everything else. So we're going to jump right into this. Kev, why don't you start off? Tell the people why you are selecting DJ Moore in your drafts right now over one Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I think for me it comes down to a couple things with DJ Moore. Like you look at DJ Moore heading into his third season, and the dude is bald for the first 2 years of his career. He's has the ninth most receiving yards before the age of 23 in NFL history. He's in pretty remarkable class. Actually, I thought it was funny. Sammy Watkins is actually one of those that's on that list. But if you look at his year last year, he played 92% of the snaps. He had 135 targets, 18 deep targets. He received 24% of the target share. Finished with 87 receptions, 1,175 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns, and 7 red zone receptions. He averaged 15.4 fantasy points per game. He had a remarkable 55.6 contested catch rate, and he also is just an absolute yak monster. He was 8th in the league with 392 yards after the catch. Some things to note, though, like he was actually on pace for 98 receptions, 1,342 yards, and the 4 touchdowns. He essentially only played 6 snaps in Week 15 and missed Week 16 last year. So that lowered him down a little bit. Like DJ Moore, especially early on in the year last year, underperformed a little bit and really started to turn it on in the second half. I absolutely love DJ Moore. I think that in this offense in Carolina, I think he's going to be the number 1 target, and I don't think it's close. I think you could even see more targets for him this year. I think something in the range of 150, possibly 160 targets, because one, we know this Carolina Panther defense is going to be absolutely trash, and they're going to have to throw the ball a ton. And right now, like Curtis Samuel has been getting terrible reviews so far out of camp. He has not looked good. I mean, it's been the DJ Moore show all preseason with Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater really sets up to be a perfect target for DJ Moore, especially for somebody who is excellent at yards after the catch, that can create separation and create on his own. He's not one of those deep threat guys who that's how he wins. He can win in all quadrants of the field. So I absolutely love DJ Moore. I don't hate Amari Cooper. I do think that this offense is a little bit crowded. And I happen to think that there's a chance that the number 1 wide receiver might actually be Michael Gallup and not Amari Cooper. If you look at the stats last year, especially in the second half, Michael Gallup really outplayed Amari Cooper in the second half of last year. And then once you bring in CeeDee Lamb and then Blake Jarwin. Not that I think that Amari Cooper is going to have a bad year, but I just think DJ Moore has a little bit higher of a ceiling. And so that's what I like so much about DJ Moore on this offense. I think that it's wheels up. He already broke out last year. And really, if some positive touchdown regression coming his way, and we're talking about easily a lock as a wide receiver 1, and could easily finish as a top 5 wide receiver this year if things bounce right for him. So that's everything I love about DJ Moore. And like I said, it's for me, and when it comes to Amari Cooper, it's more so I think that that is a little bit crowded of a situation, and I think that he could see a little bit of a target loss, not anything massive. Obviously, they have some vacated targets with Randall Cobb leaving, Jason Witten leaving. So obviously, CeeDee Lamb will probably step into some of that role. I'm not projecting that Amari Cooper is going to lose a ton of targets, but I think it's enough for me that I would prefer to take DJ Moore, who is the unquestioned alpha in that offense, and I just think the sky's the limit for him, and it's wheels up. It's DJ Moore season, so that's why I'm taking DJ Moore higher. Right now, DJ Moore is going 307. Amari Cooper is going 303 right now in PPR formats, according to ADP, or 4for4's ADP, so I'll take the discount on DJ Moore, and we're going to print money, baby. DJ Moore season. Let's go.
First of all, the goddamn slander with Michael Gallup being listen, Michael Gallup is a stud in his own right, but he's not better than Amari Cooper. So we can knock it off right there. We can knock it off right there. But the other things I can't necessarily disagree with you with. DJ Moore is the unquestioned alpha in that offense. there is a lot more target competition, legit target competition for Amari Cooper. But you kind of talked about it yourself. There's 190 targets up for grabs between Cobb, Witten, and a little bit of Tavon Austin sprinkled in there just to pump my target numbers up to make myself feel better about that. You talked about Carolina's defense being bad. Dallas's defense is going to be not just as bad, but they're definitely not going to be good. They lost a bunch of key pieces. Last year, the Cowboys were 10th in the NFL in pass attempts as a team. They were 13th in pass attempts per game. Now, where this comes down for me, the absolute tiebreaker, because I do kind of have them in a similar-ish range, but give me the quarterback and give me the offense over the garbage time, over the unquestioned targets. I mean, last year, Amari Cooper had 119 targets on his own. Michael Gallup had 113. Even with CeeDee Lamb coming in, I don't necessarily think that that's a huge knock against him, because what are you going to do as a defense? You have Kellen Moore coming in as the offensive coordinator. I think we saw what he wanted to do early on in the season, and then Jason Garrett just went full Jason Garrett and took over. He was like, this is going way too well. There's way too much motion. I can't handle all this. Let's bring it back. Let's reel it back in. I mean, you had Dak, who was 5th in deep attempts last year and 2nd in adjusted completion percentage on those deep throws. We know Teddy B ain't going deep. Amari had the higher ADOT. He was only a couple of yards behind DJ Moore in air yards last year, I believe. Amari was also 3rd in completed air yards last year, 9th in yards per target. Amari was also wide receiver 9 in half PPR scoring last year. And that was basically with being banged up from the beginning of the year till the end of the year. He had that foot issue, the foot ankle issue during the preseason where he wasn't involved too much. And then I think he got nicked up and banged up a couple more times throughout the season. And I think that's why we saw Michael Gallup outperforming him in that second half of the year. Again, Gallup is a stud. Lamb is a stud. Blake Jarwin's obviously going to step up for the Jason Witten role that had 83 targets last year. But I think just this entire offense, give me Dak Prescott and this offense over Teddy Bridgewater and the dink and dunk, 5 air yard across the middle kind of offense that we're kind of speculating that Carolina's going to have. So taking all those things into consideration, that is why I am taking Amari Cooper over DJ Moore. I don't think you can go too wrong with either of those guys. They're going in similar positions, so you're probably not going to get both. If you can slam that, absolutely slam that. But if faced with that decision, I am taking Amari over DJ Moore because of the offense and because of the quarterback play.
All right. Really quickly, that's all I'm going to say. One, I agree that obviously that Dak Prescott's a better quarterback than Teddy Bridgewater. Not groundbreaking, okay? But here's the thing. So we look at last year with DJ Moore. One thing to take into consideration is that the quarterback that they actually had last year, I mean, some of the quarterback play last year that they had was absolutely atrocious. Remember when people thought, like, what was it? Was it Kyle Allen? That was like Kyle Allen's season.
Start off like 4-0
oh
or
my
something.
God. Yeah, he's going to be the starter in Carolina next year. Like, face the franchise. Like, he's going to be pushing Cam Newton now, which Cam Newton is gone, but it had nothing to do with Kyle Allen. But the quarterback play that they had there was atrocious last year. And so the fact that he was able to put up the numbers he did in that situation, and not to mention, the Panthers were number 2 in pass attempts per game last year. 2. Like, that's not changing. Like, I think they're going to end up being number 1 this year, pass attempts per game, right? That defense is so bad. So, and if you go back and look at Teddy Bridgewater, I mean, we've seen he's been able to support a number 1 wide receiver and an offense. If you go back and look last year, from weeks 2 through 8, Michael Thomas was the fantasy wide receiver 1. He had 63 receptions, 752 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Michael Thomas is not nearly as good after the catch that DJ Moore is. I think that Michael Thomas obviously wins in other facets of the game. He's a little bit more physical wide receiver, kind of wins at contested catches. But like I've mentioned, look at DJ Moore. I mean, DJ Moore was number 8 last year contested catch rate with 55.6% of his contested catch rate. So my point is that I think that 100% Teddy Bridgewater can support, an alpha wide receiver in an offense. We saw it last year with the Saints. Obviously, a little bit coaching philosophy, a little bit of things are different. However, overall, I just love DJ Moore. Like I said, I feel like he has top 5 upside. That's why I would prefer to take him over Amari Cooper. And if I can get him at a discount at 307, I'm all about that life. If I was sitting on the clock and both of them were there, I'm taking DJ Moore, and it's not close.
I'm just not projecting their volume to be that much different. So if they're going to be within a relative range of each other, like DJ Moore is probably in that 140-ish range. Amari Cooper is probably going to see around that 120-ish. I'm just going to take the quarterback in that instance whenever the volume is going to be that close. But jump in the comments below. Let us know who you're drafting. Let us know who you think won. Just put in CODY and hit enter. That's all you got to do. And while you're doing that, rate, review, subscribe, like, tell a friend, tell a family member, make a fake account, follow us on that one too. Help us out.
And to piggyback off that, be sure to start tuning in live every single week, because we're going to be doing a live stream for in-season content. We're going to be doing a waiver show every single week where we're going to be talking about the top waiver ads. And we're also going to be doing a start-sit. And so, if you have any questions to start, who you start, who you sitting that week, trade questions, waiver questions, whatever, let us know. Be sure to be there for the live show. Next week, we're going to be doing it on Monday. We got some vacation stuff going on that week. Who does it week 1? But, the wife, that's what the wife wants. And moving forward after that, it'll be every Wednesday night. So be sure to tune in. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're here to win championships. That's what we keep talking about. Hit that subscribe, hit that like, win championships, rinse, repeat. Let's go.